Hi, this is Dr. David Klein, Stages of Life Medical Institute in Longwood, Florida. Right now, I'd like to talk about personal safety. Now, what in the world might I be talking about in the middle of a COVID epidemic? Well, it works something like this. For the entire history of humanity, we have had epidemics. It's something that you expect. It's part of what they might refer to as culling of the herd. The sick, the elderly, the infirm, by and large, are the ones that will fall out from this. It's very, very natural. In forests, they have forest fires. In California, they have learned that when they don't have controlled fires, they end up with uncontrolled mudslides. And that's kind of what's happening to us. So in greater or lesser terms, people are living longer. They're living with diseases that they would never survive before. And then, wouldn't you know it, nature comes around and nails us with something that we might not have otherwise noticed. So people die of infection. People die in epidemics. They die in pandemics. Is it good? No, it is not good. Is it painful? Of course it's painful. However, we need to look at it in very, let's say, reasonable terms, rational terms. So what can we do to protect ourselves? Because this is not the last time we're going to see this. Now, I'm a testing guy. I'm a physician. I do a little this, a little that, and I run these highly complex labs. And one of the things that we do are respiratory panels. Now, what's a respiratory panel? This is a test whereby you take a little bit of nasal secretions or cough, which is better. Okay, cough into a hanky. You get a little bit of the sputum that comes out, and you run it across a DNA machine or an RNA machine, and it's called PCR. Okay, polymerase chain reaction, and you multiply the DNA or RNA material to identify what the bug might be, whether it's virus, whether it's bacterium, whether it's parasitic. You'll figure it out because small little bits and pieces will tell the whole story. This is forensic files for medicine. This is what I do. I enjoy it. I get a kick out of it. It's fun picking up stuff that nobody else can see. But the beauty of this is that we do it as a sentinel, because you can pick up diseases that might otherwise ravage a community long before you ever figure it out. So this is a privilege and an honor. But what do you do about your personal safety under these circumstances? Okay, what happens with the lab technicians? They're sitting there with 1,000 samples or 10,000 samples, any one of which, if spilled, could cost them their life or their family for that matter. Okay, these individuals rarely get thanked anywhere for what they do. Okay, maybe they don't need it, and I don't think they do. They know their job, they do it, they slug it and slog it every day. But personal safety is what's at issue here. What can you do to protect yourself and protect your family? And we've discussed some of the things. I'm going to repeat some because there are people out there that need repetition. Okay, back in January, I talked to you about taking your clothes off, taking your shoes off before you entered your home, because you're going to drag things through. Well, wouldn't you know it? It's now starting to become a recommendation. It was a little bit of common sense that you should have done then and you need to be doing now, because as we return to function, as we return to a normal society, your odds are going to start to change briefly, but they will change. So you need to do several things to keep yourself alive and keep your family alive. Again, changing your clothes as soon as you get through your front door or side door, back door, whichever is appropriate for you, through your garage if you need be. Your shoes get kicked off. They are not to be worn into the house, period. You can keep a pair of slippers. You can keep a pair of flip-flops, as they do here in Florida and Hawaii. These are perfectly useful even at formal events in this state. So you need to kick your trousers off, your shirt, whatever, and move into something else. You keep a change of clothes, and then the clothes that you wore out, even briefly, get thrown into the laundry. So if you go to the grocery store, because you think you have a God-given right to go out and get something from the grocery so you can get out of your house, okay, well, guess what? You need to change. Second thing is, don't rely on people with these nifty little wipes at the grocery stores to make sure that your hands are clean. You'd better have hand wipes in your car. Wipe down your own seat, wipe down your steering wheel, wipe down the gear shift before you proceed. And then when you get home, you wash your face, you wash your hands, you change your clothing and protect your family, because you might actually be the mosquito that's delivering malaria. You might be the vector that's going to cost somebody some issues. So I went out this past weekend because I needed something from the store, came back, did all the following, and then gave my wife a common cold. Now, how does this work? Okay, it doesn't take very much for you to do this, and I thought I was pretty good about it. Now, I'm also blessed I'm able to do testing for COVID. I can do the COVID serologies now. We're getting ready to do what's necessary to help the company get their EUA. Okay, this is not really the place to discuss it, but it's a little bit of civic responsibility that those of us in the laboratory business have to do. We don't have to by law. We have to do it because it's really good conscience. Personal safety. What else do? You stay put. You really don't need to go out and hang out at the beach, down the boat dock. You really don't have to go anyplace. There's very little that you have to do at this point except to stay put and wait for the storm to pass. Guess what? The storm is passing in most places of the country, but not all. And that's when it gets interesting. So you've got some yahoo in one town who's really kind of has a bad go of it, and then you have another adjacent community that really has none. You end up with the whining. Well, I don't know why they can do it and I can't. Oh, there's like a bunch of children. Don't fall into this. And the people around you, don't let them fall into it. So get tested if you can, if they'll allow you to. Does everybody need to be tested? If you're in the hospitality industry, yes. Okay, if you're in the retail industry, depending upon your retail outfit, you may or may not need to. If you're in a doctor's office, you're going to need repetitious testing, not to make sure that you're not sick, but to make sure that you're not passing along to other people. So, who needs to be tested? It's very much like those masks that we're supposed to be wearing. My office, we couldn't get masks for the longest time because people were running around outside with them. There were more people walking around my neighborhood with masks on than in my office with them. So this didn't make any sense. So who needs to be tested? These are the individuals that are most likely to make other people ill. This is not a matter of convenience. It's a matter of practicality. Do you think a school bus driver needs it? If my kid goes on that bus, I would expect it. All right? What about the people in the restaurants? What about the people in the cafeterias? Again, they're telling you now, well, you got to kick your shoes off because you can track it in. Let me give you a little clue here. You can pick it up in what you eat, okay? The GI tract, the gastrointestinal tract, has receptors that this particular virus can enter your system. Wouldn't you know it? It's like every other COVID virus known, and that's that it tends to sit in the gastrointestinal tract of animals. Now, including humans. There's some that crack over. They go from other primates, other mammals to us. And that's what happened here. So personal safety, you betcha. Before you get married, before you have your little baby shower and all this stuff that really in the greater scheme of things doesn't matter, make sure everybody in attendance has been tested or you have your party by Facebook, at least, or FaceTime, whatever you call it, whatever it is. Okay, I'm in this manner technologically disadvantaged, but you won't talk about testing on that I can do. Figured out on Facebook, I cannot. In any event, this is Dr. David Klein, Stages of Life Medical Institute, and I hope that I've impacted at least one person out there. So thank you very much.